Hi, Martin here with another video, and today I'm going to show you how you can customize your Finder window on Mac. This will help you increase your productivity and make sure that the things you need and use regularly are easy to access. So let's get started. Okay, so the majority of us, when we get our Mac, we have our Finder window here and we never really change any of the settings. But there's a number of customization options that you can use. So let's start over here on the left with the sidebar, where there are a lot of items that maybe you don't need, and we can customize that by going to Finder, Settings, and then from here we're going to click Sidebar, and here we can essentially check or uncheck the items that we want to see. So for example, things like tags, I don't really use often. So if I uncheck that, you'll see it's disappeared from my sidebar. Similarly, movies, not really something that I need to access all the time. However, my pictures folder, I do use that all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click, I'm going to add that. And I also find the home particularly useful to have on my sidebar as well, because that just allows me to get an overview of all of the different folders that I have on my Mac. So a really easy way is just to check and uncheck in this sidebar section of the Finder settings. AirDrop is another one that you will likely want to get rid of, because I'm going to show you another way that you'll be able to access it easily in a moment. But for now, let's keep it on the sidebar and you can choose which method you prefer. Okay, so now that we have checked and unchecked the items that we want to see or don't want to see, let's go ahead and close these Finder settings. And we can continue on the customization of this sidebar, because we've got a lot of the kind of default files and folders that Mac has, but we may have our own files that we want to add over to the favorite section as well. So say that this is a folder I'm working on all the time, or constantly accessing it. It's going to make it easier for me to have it in my favorites. So I can simply click and drag, and then I can drop that over here on the left hand side, and then I'll be able to obviously access that nice and easily. If I ever wanted to get rid of it, I can simply secondary click, and then I can go to remove from sidebar. So that is essentially all the customization that we can do over here in the sidebar. Hopefully you can see how that's going to make it easier for you to access the things that you use all the time. So let's now turn our attention to the top bar and start with the view. Okay, so that is this icon here. Now, by default, you'll have the icon view, which is this one here, but personally, I find changing it to the list view a lot cleaner. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a personal preference, but I find this list view easier to navigate, and it gives you a little bit more information. So things like date modified, size, and kind. So another view option that is quite useful is something called showing the path bar. So what we can actually do for that one is head up to File up here, or sorry, View, and then under View we can click Show Path Bar. Now what that does is show you where this folder is located inside of other folders. This just makes it really easy to navigate, so I could very quickly get back to my documents or this and that. So if you've got lots of folders inside folders inside folders, activating this path view is really useful, just to be able to click and then get back to what you were working on. So back at the top bar, and essentially by default these are the options here that we have. Now if we secondary click and then go customize toolbar, we can customize this similar to how we were customizing our sidebar. So what we can do is that we can essentially drag items on and off our top bar to personalize it for how we would like. So again, things like tags, I don't really use that, so I'm just going to drag that down here. But something like, maybe a quick button to create a new folder, I would find that quite useful. So to add an icon, we drag it on. To remove an icon, we drag it off. So what's quite useful here, so remember I mentioned earlier in the video about AirDrop. Now AirDrop, I can click and drag, and I'd recommend that this is one to add. So what I can do quite easily with this is when I've got a document selected, I just click the airdrop button and I'm straight away airdropping it wherever it needs to go. So this kind of negates the need to have airdrop over here in the sidebar. So the last thing that we can go on and customize in our Finder window is the search bar. So by default, this search bar will search the entire Mac, and this is preference. You may find that that's useful and that works for you, but we also have the option of using Finder up here to search the whole Mac. And I kind of find if I'm using this one, I'm probably trying to search the folder that I am in. So we can quickly change that, okay, by heading over to the Finder settings again. So Finder settings, and then where we've got advanced, where it says when performing a search, we can change that to search the current folder. So there you have it. There's a number of tips. Hopefully there was something there that you didn't know. Like I said, I think majority of people get the Finder window and don't really do anything with it, but this does make it a lot easier to access the things that you use all the time. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, maybe comment below with any extra settings in Finder that you use, and to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.